Okay, hello, how are you?
Hi, thank you.
So, do you have any question for tonight? Let's see.
Yes. With breathing,
Yeah, okay.
when you breathe in on the right for a woman,
Mm-hmm.
with the quality and the positive and the negative of each
Mm-hmm.
be woman and a man,
Yeah,
when you breathe in the right,
yeah,
for example, you breathe the clarity
yes.
and you breathe out on the left.
Uh-huh.
You breathe out what? The non-clarity?
Basically, it's like this. So, maybe I start again, okay? So,
Okay.
when, let's say, some polarity, there is feminine and masculine,
Yes.
okay? And channel also, you have feminine and masculine. And both are the same aspect. No matter whatever we talk about wind or channel, it's the same thing. So, basically, so it's very clear, even in men and women, you can see this style, this kind of thing. So, for women, there is a lot of clarity
Yes.
because women are more like it's very, in Tibetan we say shut up, it's woman, and it's actually when someone start to meditate and maybe I don't know, develop some quality from his meditation, he will be a little bit like more like woman, like he will pay more attention about his, I don't know, his way of wearing, of acting. It will be a little bit more like woman. Anyway, so this is kind of development of clarity. So that's the quality of woman. Okay. But on the contrary, what they're lacking is power and I say maybe stability. So this clarity is very bright, but this guy is okay. Okay. Maybe as woman, maybe you are a little bit less strong. Maybe some easily lot of tendency to be like not so certain, not so strong, not so determined. That's the thing. So that's the quality of woman wind and woman channel and the defect as well.
Yes.
And on the contrary, men are like very strong, very stable. When they do things, they really like do things. But most of the time they lack clarity. They do things in a way like very short-sighted. You don't see so far. You just go from here and then you don't know so much after that. So that's kind of the defect of man. Okay, so basically, what we try to do, let's say as a man first, and then we see who's the woman. Okay, so if you understand, the right side will be the masculine side for the man. Okay, and the left side will be the feminine. Okay, so you raise your left hand first as a man and you block the right channel. Okay, so basically, what you're going to do, you're going to breathe from the woman quality channel, the woman quality wind. Okay, so as we say, we don't works on the channel you breathe in. Okay, this is just coming because this is a feminine and we bring a feminine wind. Okay, so what we do is when you expel, when you breathe out, you bring this quality to the masculine
To
channel.
bring this quality. Okay.
Yes, to the masculine channel. So basically, masculine channel here is lacking some clarity. So you bring this clarity to this channel. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yes.
you do this way first. And then you do the contrary. This is we say the masculine, right? So you do like this, you block this. Okay. So you're going to breathe the masculine here. Okay. And you go in the masculine channel. So you don't make anything weird. And then after that, when you expel, you
Yes.
bring this quality, the masculine quality, to the feminine channel. Okay. And as a woman, you do exactly the same, but on the other way, because for you, everything is reverse. So this is the feminine. Okay. So you block and you breathe the feminine air through the feminine channel and you give up to the masculine. You
Okay.
always start with clarity. You always start with clarity because clarity is really the most important thing. If your mind is not clear, I mean, you cannot do much. Okay, so stability is important. We're going to learn the earth elements, and it's funny because this is not on purpose, but I am in a yellow room, very yellow, and it's actually quite a square. So I'm really like in a yellow cube. It was not on purpose, but that's the thing, and that's really the idea of the earth element. So for this, we are kind of lucky to be in this environment. Okay, so that's really the idea. So the thing is, we we need to know the three quality of the wind we should use. Okay, so the first one is to be gentle. So this gentleness is not easy, and maybe we won't learn so much about that until we reach the water element. Okay, the water element will be maybe the best time to really work on the gentleness, the softness. Okay, so earth, we can, for the wind, we can maybe concentrate on the, you say, complete. Okay, complete. It means we start to breathe, we breathe completely, and we breathe out completely. Okay, so, and you don't need to do let's say some excess. No need to do excess. We go very soft. So the thing is, there is a very, how you say, maybe, how can I say that? A very, oh, I should be careful. This guy is coming if I go over there. Okay, there is like a very, how can I say, um, pre-sequentialization. So it's like when we think about Stallone, we think of people doing this kind of thing. And this is not what we learn. This is Chulung. This is like violent wind. Okay. So, and most of people, when they think about wind, they do this way. And this is very, like, very strong. And there's a lot of school talking to that. But this is not what we do. We do in a very, very, very soft way. Very soft, very gentle way. So we need to, like, don't go into this kind of behavior, but be very, very, very gentle, very gentle. And don't force yourself. You go very slowly, you breathe in, you breathe out. And I hope at some point we have to have like a ball or something so we can really try to make the meditation the focus of our session. So we just go into meditation and then we listen to the gong and then we know we have to move to the next exercise and it will be more like more meditative kind of approach. But for now, we need to learn quite a lot. So there is a lot of talking involved. But the aim is not that. The aim is really to be able. This is why there is 2 hours. The purpose of the 2 hours is 1 hour on explanation and the next hour into really practicing without so much explanation. But we are at the beginning, so we need at least some explanation. Okay, so that's the thing. And then it's very important to be very gentle and to be more and more aware about the different subtlety of the wind. Okay, so we breathe peacefully like this, and then so that's the aspect of gentleness. Okay, clarity. So when we breathe, we don't close our eyes. We don't even like do anything. We really try to keep the consciousness open. Okay, and this is the clarity of the wind. Okay, so we need to have all the consciousness open, but at the same time, it's quite challenging because when consciousness open, what we tend to do is called nielen. Okay, that's a very Tibetan word for saying like we see something and we go close to it and then we bring us to our mind. Okay, so for example, like especially today, we're going to work on stone. Okay, so let's say I see a stone, and then now I'm very relaxed. Suddenly I look at the stone, and what happened? Everything disappeared. So I'm just looking at the stone. So my conscience come nearby and bring the stone to my eyes, and everything has disappeared. So that's called nielen. And this is not what is clarity. This is not clarity because it's focused on one point. So there's no more clarity. So it seems clarity for us because we see the stone clearly. And if you did like this, and You look around, you see maybe the stone, but it's kind of blur. You cannot see clarity. And then you're thinking clarity, then I must look carefully and then bring it up. But no, that's not it. Okay. So the clarity, it's associated to this very vast kind of mind who don't do any, let's say, any focusing. Okay. So that's the idea. So when we breathe in, we try to breathe in with all the consciousness open, as wide as possible, but without doing this kind of movement towards something. So that's the difficulties. So most of the time, I don't talk about that at the beginning, but I think we have to have some idea where we are going. So maybe good to know. Anyway, so that's clarity. Then gentleness will be no make any sound. No any sound. Okay, so like you breathe in and out and you don't make any sound. So that's kind of not so easy to master, but that's very important as well. Okay, so these three qualities have to be present when you breathe in and out, not only in and out. Okay, and also naturally, when you breathe out, it will be about loosening your body. Okay, you just relax and then your body goes very, very relaxed. So the thing is, when you breathe in again, try to not tense your body. Okay, so you stay in this very relaxed, very loosen kind of situation, and then you breathe in again. So that's very important. So we try not to tense our body, but at the same time, we need to be complete. Okay, so it's okay to move a little bit our body, to make it so we breathe in, we think we are full, maybe we can move a little bit. And then we think, okay, now I'm completely full, then I can breathe out. Same, you go in and out, and you can a little bit move your body if you need to check a little bit. Because sometimes wind are kind of, how you say, block in some channels and things. So if you move a little bit, you could. The idea is to loosen the body. Even when you meditate, you don't need to stay strict without moving. It makes no sense. Okay, you just relax, and if you need to move a little bit, allow it. Allow any movement that need to be done. Okay, good. Any other question, or is it clear? Good. Okay, great. Okay, so today I'm not very in a way like I can do a lot of movement and exercise. Okay, so it's good at some point. So we will focus on the end. Okay, we try to really master the movement because I don't think it's already mastered yet. Okay, so the idea go slowly. So we move the thumb into this position. Okay. Then see what happens naturally without, without, let's say, trying to do anything. So when you put your finger, this one tend to be a little bit away from this one, right? From this one. So that's the thing. So that's the movement. Okay. So this one, and then what happened? It curved down. And then the other one. And then like this, you see? So you do like this. Nope. It's a movement like a circle. You see? Can you see? It's make like in a circle here. Do you see the circle like this? Not like this. There is no. If you do that, it's like straight. Doom. No. Like this. There is actually a movement. Yeah, a little bit better. One more time. Take one hand first. One hand. Yeah. So you do that basically. This is not what I do. I do this. You see the difference? Look carefully the finger. They're not like this. Not like tick, 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 tick. No, no, no. Like this. They move. Yeah, much better. Let's see. Yes, slowly. Even more. Accentuate the movement. So the idea, this go very far. This go very far. This go very far. This go very far. Yes, not in front of them. They go actually to this side. So like you try to put this finger on this side. Look, it look like this. You see? It's not straight. It's going. If you look like this, it looks like straight, but it's not, because at the beginning it starts here. So it's not this, it's this. You see? You're going to this part, yes, even further. And then same, this one, this one. So you have this kind of movement. Yeah, a little bit, but not quite. Let's try the other end. Okay, so this one go here, and then try to this figure go very far away from this direction into this direction. Like this. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, it's coming. You see the difference? Look the shadow. If you look the shadow, not this, not this, this. Yes, now it's coming. You see the difference? Yes, perfect. So same here. This is even more clearer. So you go not like this. It's the same. So this one go very far, very far, very far. Okay. So you really work on. The movement is not this, is really working. And if you go like this, you see it's a strong movement. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Okay. But look, everything is turning. It's become like a little bit like a shape of a couple or something. You see, it's not like that. It's not that. It's something like a shape. So, and your wrist is also turning slowly. Okay. But that's very good. Okay. That's a very, very, very good movement. Okay. Very good, because after you see you do that. So if you do this, makes no sense. Okay, so you do that and it become completely like a circle, upper circle and lower circle. No, on the same position. Let's see. Yeah, not quite, but slowly. Okay, slowly, it comes slowly. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, we work very hard on this one. This is very, very something good. And then when you do, it's very, very, very nice and very useful because actually it's the opening of the earth. Okay, so you open your heart. Why we do always mudra from here? Because there is most important channel and wind in this position. Okay, so it's like you opening, you opening the channel and all the deities or whatever go out of your earth like this, and the same way they go back into it. Okay, so they go out, they do whatever offerings they need to do, and then boom, they go back into it. Anyway, so that's also you do like this. Anyway, so that's very important. Okay, it's called pekor in Tibetan. We need to work on it. Okay, so then after you do this kind of movement, okay, it's pekor. Pe means lotus, and kor it's the wheel of lotus. Okay. And it's quite beautiful. If you make it nicely, it's quite beautiful. Okay, anyway, so you need to work on that. So you go very far away in all directions, like couple. Now look, my wrist is turning. I'm not staying here. No, I'm moving. You see, same it's here. I'm moving. So when you initiate this movement, then you can, you know, and this you see you work all the different things because you are like upside down, you see, like that. Same here. You go up. Okay, so this one is still up like that. This or this, same. And you see, it's very working on all your different articulation. Okay, it's very, very powerful. Okay, and after some time you do both, you go anyway, slowly. Anyway, that's good. Okay, so that's important. That was this thing. One question: do you have your stone or whatever you need? You do prepare something. Yeah, good. Okay. So that's really will be our companion for quite some time because the idea is when we talk about earth element, we need to really feel this earth element. Okay. So it's a obstructing kind of aspect. It's like you cannot, like the water, you will see the difference between water and earth. Water, if you put water with water, it becomes just water. If you put earth with earth, they stay separate. Okay, so that's the idea of strong. Okay, so this is our aspect. And what we will learn here, we will learn to differentiate two things that always have to be separate. You cannot mix them, which is the object and the consciousness who's looking at the object. You see? You cannot mix them. There is no way. Because you have the object, and then you have the consciousness, and then there is something going on. They encounter each other, but they are very different. One is there, and the other one is there. I mean, it's completely different. So this we need to learn from this stone or from the sound of the earth. So the sound of earth is that. So when you say people, how can I meditate the sound of water? It's easy. You go in the water thing and you listen to the water. How can I meditate the sound of fire? I mean, you take a fire and then you listen to the sound of the fire. Same with the wind. Space is even easier because there is no sound in space. And then what about earth? How do you meditate? So you need to listen to this kind of sound. I don't know if you can hear the sound, this kind of sound. Okay, so the sound like earth make. Okay, so that will be our, let's say, training. Okay, to listen to this. Maybe you can take one stone and the other one you squeeze or you do something, some sound or something. This kind of thing. No need to be very strong, but that's the idea. Okay. So, and then we will start to learn after when you do the breathing, this aspect of listening to the sound of earth and try to separate uh, the sound and the consciousness that knows the sound. You see? And when you will do that, we stop and you will see there is no more consciousness listening to the sound. So this, and then we start again. And each time you start, each time you notice the earth consciousness, you don't need to look at it. The earth consciousness is okay. So here consciousness, you you go like, oh, there is always something going on, up, and then you stop, and everything disappears. So most important is not to think I am listening this sound. You don't need that. You don't need I am listening. We don't care who is listening, who are you, what you are doing. We just don't care. And this is very important. When we meditate, forget about the I. We don't need to know who are you, and you don't need to tell yourself who you are, because every time we say who you are, I don't know, we need, I'm here, I did that, I'm doing this kind of thing, I have this project, and I'm going this, and blah, blah, blah. We don't need, we absolutely don't care, okay? So the thing is, you're just thinking about the consciousness that listens the sound. And you master this aspect of listening to the sound and stop. And as soon as you stop, this consciousness disappears. And where she goes, I don't know. But she was there, she was born by listening to the sound, and she disappeared when the sound stopped. Okay, then you need to focus on that. And then very differentiate the sound and the consciousness. That's our main goal in this topic. You listen to the sound of the stone. When I'm doing this, I'm doing this kind of movement. I don't know if you hear this kind of sound. This is why you need your own stone. You cannot find in internet someone making like this kind of movement on stone. Anyway, so like this, you do, you stop, And then you reflect, where goes the consciousness? I was listening to this sound. And then you start again. And then you think, where does she born? Where does she born? So she's not one with the sound, but she appears as soon as it starts to make some sound, some noise with the stone. Okay? And when you stop, she vanishes completely. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn on the stone. Okay, but for that, first we need to clarify our mind. Okay, clarifying our mind. So you will do in two steps. Normally we should do all these different things, but I mean, just in the bed. I don't have so much space around. But so the first thing we do, we will just put our hand nearby this navel and relax. Really try to relax, to feel very peaceful and relaxed. Forget about all we did today, all the different, I don't know, aspect in our life or whatever. We just calm down and relax. So we will do that for like 2 minutes and then we move on to the wind. Okay, that's very important because we need clear wind, and this is why. Okay, okay, okay. So this is why we need to be very calm. Okay, because if you start right away, maybe I didn't tell that before, but if you start right away with like I'm sitting, I do the wind, not going to work. Okay, we need to be very relaxed, very peaceful, and when you feel relaxed and peaceful, then we can start doing the wind thing. Okay, so our way it's always very peaceful, very relaxed, very calm. We don't do anything that create some trouble. And we get more and more aware about the tension in our body. Okay. So it's very important for us to have all this different consciousness about our body, about all the different tension or stress in the mind and everything. Okay. So then we do circle. We start by doing this very relaxed. So we should have the gong or something, but anyway, at some point, I think I will have it. We have to be very patient. Okay, let's just relax a little bit. And then we will start the breathing as practice. Ok, on va commencer. Okay, so sorry, French. We will start. Okay, so try to not lose this peaceful current state of mind. And when we do this at the beginning, the focus is very easy, just relaxing the body. So whatever we think about our mind or whatever, we just relax the body. That's the only thing we think about, relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. So now we'll use this relaxing state of mind and body with the breath. So remember when you breathe in, try to open the consciousness. Okay. And when we breathe out, try to loosen even more our body. Okay, let's try it. Okay. So we do like this. I will talk at some point to this because in the finger there is also a different element. Okay. So this is also an aspect, but slowly. Okay. Let's try to first do that. So we breathe out, taking our, let's say, front belly up to the, let's say, to the spinal cord. Very, very deep breathing out. Okay. Très bien. So, so you see, when you do this, I don't know if you feel the same, but this looks like a massage. You know, when you mass some part of our body, there is a tension and a release. Tension, release. You know, I don't know if you do massage or if you go to get some massage, but this is a really like the same feeling. You know, when you breathe in and then you breathe out. And then it really this kind of massage from inside. I don't know if you feel this coming like this. It's the same kind of feeling when you mass someone, you do massage to someone. It's like you know there is some tension and then you go out and in the tension, on and in. Okay, so that's from outside. But this is what we do. We use breath, our body to expel and to, how you say, become like tight and smaller kind of thing to massage our whole body. Did you feel that? Did you feel this kind of feeling massage? More or less? Okay. So don't be afraid to exaggerate a little bit. Okay. This is a cleaning part. Okay. So when you clean something, you cannot just do like this. You know, you really have to do it in a way that it's become very clean. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, so we should do this one, but I'm not really in a condition to do it because I'm in a bed. It's not very good way. Okay, so anyway, so we start by try to get in this not stone mood, but earth mood. Okay, so earth, it's very peasant. You know, if you hold something in your hand, it's very peasant. It's go down, and there is nothing. Okay, there is nothing that want to coming up. You know, when you see water and fire especially, you want to go up. You know, it bright up. The earth, I just want to go down. You know, this is like the gravity or something. So if you hold in your hand, you have this feeling, you know, this feeling in your hand that even if it's not very, very heavy, the feeling is you want to bring your hand down. You want to go closer as the ground as possible. So that's what we should learn from stone. I mean, from earth or stone. It's like this willingness to go down, this willingness to go like everything from this earth want to go down naturally. Okay. There is nothing that want to go up. So all the energy is to bring your body down like this. Okay. So that's the first thing we learn. Okay. So you can learn in this way. You can hold your stone or whatever you have in your hand, you put it on your knees. Okay. And then you feel this going down feeling of the stone want to be really go down and you can really feel in your hand, in the palm of your hand or in your hand, in your finger and everything. And then you try to connect these two feelings because the stone itself is you don't need to learn it. You do it perfectly. Okay. But we have to learn it from the stone. Okay. So you relax your body and you feel like, is it the same, the stone and my body? Is it my body completely want to go down like this stone completely want to press down my palm of my hand? Or is there something that's still rising up? If it's the case, then we need to really feel down. And then we really need to connect the palm of our hand to, let's say, our lower part. That's the one who is connecting the ground. I'm not in a good example because I am in a bed, but anyway, maybe you're better situation than me. Anyway, so you relax and you really feel like this heavy feeling from the stone to your palm, and you connect this same feeling with your body. And it should be the same. You should be like this stone. There is nothing coming up. And it's very naturally and very peaceful. You don't need to press yourself into the ground. You just allow your body to be relaxed, to be very cool, and it will do exactly like the stone. Okay? So for short minutes, we will meditate on that. You have something in your hand, right? You need nothing is will be hard. So you feel like this stone in your hand, and then you try to be exactly like the stone. Like you feel, I am the same like the stone. I just need to go down. I just need to go like the stone completely into the ground. Okay, and you will feel maybe the heaviness of your body. Okay, because there is nothing rising up. But at the same time, I mean, this is something you may feel. I don't know. At the same time, if you're straight, you don't feel any you say, any unpleasant feeling. It's like natural, just like a stone on the ground. You don't need to stress or whatever, and you just be like this stone. Okay, so we will try to do that for some minutes. Okay, you understand the other side. Huh? Okay, so that's the first aspect. The second aspect, you may notice, even if you have two stones like me in my hand, okay, so one hand is like this, one hand is like that, okay? So even if you have two stones, there's no a slight difference between these two stones. Even if they're different weight or different shape, It doesn't really matter. They're really like one thing. Okay. So what we learn from this is the oneness of our body. Okay. So we feel our body and any part of our body want to relax, want to go to the ground. We are exactly like this stone. Because normally, I mean, this, it's a very interesting experience. If you try to lift someone who is sleeping and someone who is not sleeping, you see, if you try to lift someone who is sleeping, it's very heavy, very hard, because all his body is just completely sleeping or unconscious. Okay. It's very hard to lift. But if someone is awake, it's very easy to lift this person. Why? Because his body is a lot of tension that bringing up, and create all this different separation in our body. And the body lose the sense of oneness. Okay. But when is sleeping or unconscious, there is this oneness. Every part of the body going down to the ground. There is nothing connecting up. So we need to learn this losing aspect of the body by heaviness of the body, by this willingness to go to the ground and to release any kind of tension. Okay, so now we will focus on that, on the oneness of the stone. Even if you have two, it's exactly the same. There is no any part of the stone that want to rise or want to be, let's say, separate or anything. And then we do the same. We think our body and all these different aspects. We just go to the ground. We don't need to think what kind of position do I have to hold and everything. This is why when you try to hold one position, whatever nice position like Virochana, seven posture, whatever, it makes no sense because you try to hold something and this is not natural. This is not our body position. This position should come naturally. And after a point, it will be. It will be the position of Roshana. But it's not something that we have to create in our body because it will be a tension. It won't be natural. And we're looking for the way of the Neljor Pa or Neljor Ma, which is going Jor with the nature, with Nel, okay, with the nature. So we think the stone and we really try to be this oneness of stone. Every part of our body want to go down. And it's good. It's let it be. Let it be go down. Okay. We don't need to care what position do I have. We just try to either my back straight or whatever. We don't need to care of that. We just try to feel the sweetness of the body where every part wants to go down. And if the one who don't want to go down, it means there is a tension. So we need to release. And if you release it, it will go ground to the ground. Okay. So now we do this aspect of feeling the oneness of a stone in our hand and the oneness in our body and release all the different tension. And once it's being released, you feel really this I wanted it, this I don't know willingness to go to the ground. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so we try to do that. Okay. So now we're going to use this aspect of the earth element to deal with thought because you're always thinking, okay, I'm going to meditate, but I have a lot of thought arising and my mind become confused or whatever. So we think in this way. So really feel the heaviness of the body. Our body want to go to the ground, and there is this very aspect of oneness, like stone. Okay. So when thought arise, you have this word. Arise means it's going up somehow. I don't know. You have this. So now we're thinking this thought become kind of heavy. It's not easy to arise because she's actually heavy, and then she will fall down back to the feeling of our body going to the ground. Okay, so we don't like it's not like we don't follow our thought. We don't need to think this way. We just thinking something, and this thinking, this thought is actually very heavy. So she cannot go very far, and she have to go down also to the ground. Like she cannot fly, she cannot really arise somehow. Okay, so we keep this very heaviness feeling, peaceful feeling like being stone, and the thought itself is are very heavy. We think this way, and then we try to go out and go somewhere. They cannot go very far because they're too heavy. So they go back to our feeling of going to the ground, and they dissolve actually into this feeling of just focusing on where is the tension in your body, what things don't want to go to the ground. So we dealing with thought in this way. So in this meditation, you see, I'm quite not moving. I try to keep, even if I'm talking, but you shouldn't be talking anyway. So even if I'm talking, I try not to move, to really be like a stone. And my thoughts, whatever rise, I have this feeling of heaviness. And then they cannot go far. They cannot even not arise. They're not strong enough to arise. They go back to a ground. Okay? So we try to do the same exercise and deal with whatever arise in this way. Okay, that's the next exercise. And this hand always go down, and our eyes as well go down, touching the ground. So we really become one with the ground. More and more we have this feeling. There is no difference between the stone in our hand. I didn't move yet, right? And stone in our hand with the ground, our body, all is one. All is the same heavy stuff, just going naturally to the ground. Not easy to move. And thought are not easy to rise. They are also very heavy. Okay, so we move this way. I mean, we do this way. Okay. So next, okay, if we manage to have this kind of ceiling where the thought cannot go very far, they're very like heavy and things. So now we will notice something very special happening. So like the stone in our hand, we can feel the bottom of the stone in the palm of your hand. But what about the upper stone? Nothing. You cannot feel, you cannot even wait. You just feel like, okay, there is this bottom part, I can feel very clearly. But what about this part? Nothing. This one, nothing. So in our body, we have kind of the same feeling, if you notice. We're feeling the notice our bottom ground touching the ground. But what about our upper body, all this part? It's like very light, very like even not here. If you're really able to completely release all the tension, you will feel very grounded. And the bottom part really feel the ground. I mean, yeah, down to your bottom. Okay, but all the heavy aspect, all the heavier body, very light, very little, very like a bit like the hair on top of the stone, you know, very little, very light, very pleasant. So you will really feel like there is no much such pressure in my body. My body is very relaxed, very cool. I'm very grounded. I'm very straight and grounded like the stone. I don't need to make any effort. My body feel naturally is what it should be. And then all the other aspects, like my hand, my hair, all these different aspects here, very light, very pleasant, no tension, nothing, no no heaviness feeling, nothing. Okay, so now we will focus on that. Same as always, we need to be like the stone. Today, this is our teacher. We need to learn from the stone. You know, they really go to the ground, but on top of the stone, there is no heaviness. All the heavy aspect is on the bottom, and all the other one is very relaxed, very cool. Okay, you try to be like that. Okay. Once we establish this, now we don't so much turbulation from the thought, because the thought we have seen is very heavy. Our body is very relaxed. You don't need to think about who is doing what or whatever. We will start to move a little bit, very lightly, very gently, the stone in our hand in order to make some noise. And then we try to take it to position and then we don't move so much, just a little bit, just to produce some sound and some like vibration with the stone. And then we will try to listen to this sound. And as we do before, to see, to differentiate the consciousness listening to the sound itself and see where the consciousness appear, where she disappear, and what happened in between when she's listening. Where is the consciousness listening? You know, we try to find this consciousness. And then we suddenly stop moving and then rise again and moving, stop and again. And it's like, where is this consciousness? Okay, and we stay in this very relaxed, very grounded situation. So that's the base. Okay, we cannot do this exercise doing like with a normal state of body and mind. We have to be very like grounded as we did. And then when you feel okay, you can start to make some noise. And then if you lose a little bit your concentration and you start to think whatever, you calm down, you stop doing the noise, you bring back to this grounding, lightly feeling, lightly from here and grounding from bottom. And then you start again. And you listen carefully to the sound. And the idea is, where is the consciousness? To differentiate the sound from the consciousness. And if you get familiar with this aspect of here consciousness, you can do the same. It's more difficult with the feeling in your hand, the heaviness. It's like a body consciousness, like holding the stone. Where is this consciousness? Okay, so you can taking the stone in your hand and you lift one, and then again you go like, oh, there is some weight or some weight feeling. So you can think about this body consciousness. Anyway, so the idea is learn from the stone the difference between the object and the consciousness that be born out of the object or be born observing the object. Maybe better do this way. Okay, so we work a little bit on that. Okay. So next we're going to do is to do two different movements. One which is long, like you do like this, long time, okay? And then during this time you follow the consciousness. It seems like there is, I don't know, something that real, something that really observe. You can use one hand, is okay. The other one always stay like stable. And something like existing, something real, and the consciousness try to lose the idea of being the consciousness and try to mix with the object, like what we do normally. Our mind going somewhere and become like this thing, whatever, ice cream, chocolate, whatever. And that's the thing. And then you stop. And then you look, where's gone the consciousness? Where is this feeling of being something gone? That's one movement we can do. And another one, in order to know that what you call in Tibetan namshe. Namshe, it's consciousness of the object. Nam is the aspect, and Che is knower or awareness. You can do short tak, like, how can I do like this? Tak. So this is very clear, like there is nothing, there is no consciousness for now, and then you do tak, and you can see that it born and disappear at the same time because it's just tak, you know, just this sound. And then slowly you can work on these two aspects of long movement, feeling like, oh, there is something there. There's really something is there. This stone and everything is there, and I am part of it, kind of thing. And then you stop and you say, where do I am gone? Where I am now? Because I was really into this stuff. And then you stay relaxed for some time, and then suddenly, tax, you do this movement, short, brief movement. And you look the sound and you see before no consciousness, tax, the consciousness of tax, and then no more. So you see, you just observe this, let's say, born of consciousness and disease of consciousness. So she appear very suddenly and disappear almost at the same time. It was like, oh, what happened here? Okay, so we try these two aspects. So first, you really go down to this situation where you're very grounded, very light here, and any thought can arise, cannot be arising because they're too heavy. They go back to the grounding aspect of our body. And then you can try to work with this aspect of listening to the sound of earth, and then stop. See where the consciousness goes. And then you start again. And then for some time you're following, following, following. Oh, there is something there. I'm really observing something, living something, pleasant or not, whatever. And then you stop. And it's like, oh, what happened to this world? No more. Where do I am God? And then suddenly you stay calm for some time and tax. And you go like, oh, nothing, tax, something, oh, nothing, like this. Okay? Okay. So the last thing we're going to do, we can hold our hand, I mean, we can keep our stone in our hand. We just put it here, okay? Then we're going to breathe the earth wind. So we know now earth, what is it? Is it stability? Is its willingness to be one and to be on the ground? Okay, so we can keep our hand in the stone in our hand, and then we can put it in the navel chakra because this is actually the earth element chakra, so it's kind of cool. And then we will breathe in the earth element and breathe out earth element. So knowing this nature of earth, okay, this yellow color, very steady, very grounded, and very, let's say, empowering ourselves to not follow any thoughts that arise. Because you see, if you have this grounding factor, thought cannot arise. It's too heavy. They go like, and then they go down back to the feeling of our body. Okay. So for a few minutes, we will bring in and out the earth element, the yellow color, like we said before, 13 finger. Okay. Let me do that. So we keep the same kind of feeling, the grounded, very peaceful, very oneness feeling in our body, and then we breathe earth element, earth wind, let's say. Okay. 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 So there is different aspects. I know if you feel this, it's very interesting. This ground, earth, element, energy. Okay, that's very important. We need really to at least master this one first, and then we move on to the water, fire, air, and thing. So there's two different things. The first thing you can do is keep your stone with you sometime. And then when you don't have anything to do, when you work on this earth element, you can put in your hand and feel this willingness to be down to the ground, to be very stable, to be very calm. And then you try to be the same, to be as earth. That's kind of mastering earth. It's like your body is very relaxed and very want to go to the ground and not moving. And your mind becomes a little bit like this. Thoughts are very heavy and they cannot just rise so much. That's one thing. Another thing, this is our materiality. This is our body. This is our bones. This is our everything that is concrete. Okay. And actually, I don't know, it's not really Buddhist, but it is something kind of interesting. Each one of us have a special material which connect to. Everyone is one material. So if you want, some people they know already, like Aruna, I told her, and some people I told her. So if you want, I can check what is your material, and I can tell you privately what is your material. And if it's not too expensive, because some people is gold or whatever, you can have this material like stone, but made of this material, which kind of is you, kind of you energy. And it will be very useful because sometimes when you feel a little bit down or you feel something to relate to this matter can help you because it's actually your own energy and it kind of be, it could be useful. Some people is stone, some people it's copper, it could be different, very different thing. But there is always some connection between you, your energy, and it never changes. It's just one and it never changes. So it could be interesting. If you want, I can tell you. And now you have to think in this way. So when you breathe in the earth wind, thinking the earth wind is the idea of when you release this, bring a lot of stability, living groundness and oneness in the body. Okay. And you can feel very relaxed, very like a mountain. Okay. So that's really what we learn about being a mountain. You know, you say, how you say in Tibetan, um, Jivo Chaja. Jivo Chaja. Chaja means to be like stabilized or to put down. And Jivo it's mountain. So that's how we should be our body. Jivo Chaja, like a mountain. You know, if you see great meditator, you will see this kind of feeling, like Dilokanser Rinpoche or very great meditator, Dujon Rinpoche. Those kind of people, they're very like a mountain, you know, immovable. So it seems like heavy, but at the same time, there is no tension. No tension. Like the stone. There's no tension in the stone. They just want to be heavy. So I recommend you have this stone in your hand, and I can give you the name of your kind of material, more or less. And then from time to time, you put it in your knees and you feel this. Okay, now I'm like this stone. You know, and then you breathe in and out this earth element, thinking it is this energy of groundness, oneness, bringing a lot of stability in our mind. We cannot stay there. It will be quite heavy, but that's the foundation. That's the foundation of meditation. And then you will learn water, fire, wind, space. It's completely different energy. But this is very important. And there is not it's not finished yet. We have a lot of still things to discover and to work on stone. Okay, I mean stone. I can say earth element. Okay, something like that. Okay, do you have any question? Is it clear? How do you feel? Maybe I should ask.
So I feel yes, the heavy,
Grounded.
the grounded. Yes, I feel.
But it's not a bad feeling, isn't it?
Is what?
It's not bad feeling, it's good feeling. No? Is it
Yes,
good
yes, yes,
feeling?
yes, sure. Yes, it's very nice. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, it's nice. It's
cool.
something we need. We need sometimes we act as a stone, we act at the water, we act at the fire, and now I mean, we need to master all the elements. That's very, very important. And some people are more one than the others. That's fine, but still, we need to work our path up to mastering all the elements. So or yogi, now yogi is like nature, nature pa, nature ma, to unite with the nature. So now we need to unite with the ground, with the stone, with the this kind of thing. So I would suggest to see the stone, well, to see, yeah, stone also, but ground in a very gentle and kind of way. Like you don't feel reluctant to be on the ground. Some people they like to be on the chair, but try to not feel reluctant to even sleep on on the floor or be on the ground and feel like, oh, the ground is something that nourish all beings. It's very important. In Buddhism, we call it Pretty Devi. Pretty Devi, it's uh, a goddess of earth. Okay, so and it's very important. We always care about her. When you do whatever mandala or puja or whatever fire puja, we first ask her permission. Can we do that here? We don't want to disturb you, so we offer dharma, and then we say, please allow us to use the ground to build a monastery, to build a stupa, to do a fire puja. So we don't just be there and do whatever we want. We just ask kindly the ground. So in the same way, you see, you feel like, oh, the ground is here. And it's our best ally because the ground is where we're going to meditate. So we need to have a nice feeling toward her. I mean, her, the ground, or like it. It's not it, it's really her. If you really feel it, you will see it's like a nourishing goddess because all come from the ground, all the fruit, all everything. And the Buddha also is best ally for the Buddha because when you want to defeat Mara, the only ally he has, there's no one that witness whatever he did because so many life, but there is one always present, which is the ground. So he touched the ground, saying like, okay, the ground was here. You have seen what I've done, and I don't need to say anything. And in the same way, don't, I will say, don't. I don't like to say this kind of word. Uh, Better not to think about yourself, what you are, what you're not, what you've done, what you don't done. We don't care. Just do things, and the ground is here. So whatever you do, if you do it, there is a witness and there is benefit. If you don't do it, there is also a witness and it won't be benefit because you don't do anything. So you don't need to think, oh, I did it, or I don't did it, or whatever. We don't need. Just do things and notice that the ground is here. And no matter what you do, there is always a witness. And this is very important. If you want to improve, I mean, yourself, yeah, but maybe let's say the spiritual being that growing into this session of meditation, you need to be diligent. Otherwise, you don't go anywhere. It's do like one day and then 1 week not do anything. And so it's like a plant. Okay, you need to give water and care every day. And you can also say, oh, I didn't do nothing for 1 week, so now I'm going to put a lot of water. It doesn't make any sense and it will kill the plant. So you have to be diligent and humble like a ground and then very peaceful, very relaxed. You go step by step, and it will be nice. Okay? That's okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. So that was the third explanation on the earth element. It's not finished. There is many other things to cover, but that's the basis. That's kind of very, very important aspect today. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a nice practice. See you next week from Bhutan. Maybe see you in Bhutan. Yeah, you will be in Bhutan too, maybe. Okay. Bye bye. Have a nice practice. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.